Greetings and salutations, YouTube. This is Fragments of Memory, your friendly neighborhood armchair philosopher. It's been a while since I made a video, but I'm going to come out with this one right here. Name of this video is Those Who Get Picked and Those Who Get Passed Over. I was watching a video by a YouTuber by the name of StephcoPretty, which I recommend you check out her channel. She has some very interesting things to say about the black woman's experience. Women experience this phenomena, at least in the video that she brought out, this thing called pretty privilege, or to borrow from Kendra D, aka the Crimson Cure. If you don't know her, she's sort of a Muslim sister on here that does commentary. But anyway, the average girl tax. So we've got pretty privilege and we have the average girl tax. What this is, there was a video that StephcoPretty did called, it's entitled, I Don't Have Pretty Privilege and That Sucks. And in this vid, she would discuss the various ways in which she experienced being the woman who had to pay that average girl tax. Again, shout out to Kendra D, the Crimson Cure, while watching other women receive the benefits of being deemed beautiful or pretty. She talked about how many of the women, her not having the pretty privilege, but having to pay that average girl tax, she had to buy her own drinks when she went out. Men didn't approach her, but maybe she hung out with a friend that was a prettier girl, and she became invisible. In fact, I think I found this amusing and also sad, was she'd be standing next to her friend and a guy would want to talk, a guy raced to talk to her friend, and he would literally either elbow or punch her to get out of the way. Not that he was purposely doing it, but he didn't even notice she was in the vicinity, in the general circumference of the area to know that she was there. And then she went into the kind of men that she can attract based on being the average girl versus being the pretty girl. And usually the men that she says that the average girl may attract isn't the man with the ambition. It's the guy delivering pizzas at 30. Now, I made this video to bring out that men also experience this in a different way. We have our own version of the pretty privilege average girl tax, but it's done in a different way. You've probably heard these phrases if you're on the Black Manosphere on YouTube. And the conversation has been had into infinity and beyond in the so-called Negro Manosphere, Black Manosphere. Pardon me, allergies. Even though we as men aren't judged solely on our appearance, we are judged on our appearance, yes, but we're also judged on our successes, our conquests. In fact, I remember I was taking an oral communications class back when I was attending community college. And one of the classmates, he was a very muscular guy, hit the gym all the time. And one of the things he said was, women were often judged for their looks and men judged for their successes, their conquests. We're also judged on our charisma, our vibe, our energy, our material prosperity, our status, our strength, our power, our social adroitness, our style. So it's sort of a mixture, a melange of things that make a man high value. I know that's the word being thrown around. And we've even heard the terms select versus non-select. Shout out to one Rom Wills. Alpha versus beta. Lame versus street dude. And I like to throw in the cherished versus the forsaken. And we've had, if you look online over the years, you've heard that term incel, which is involuntary celibate, and usually it's applied to a man. TFL, which is true forced loneliness, that was sort of a thing back in the day. There was even a saying amongst the so-called pickup artist communities, and I remember hearing this, there was the 80-20 rule or the 90-10 rule, which is basically 10% of the men or 20% of the men were getting 90% of the women or 80% of the women. So I could sort of sympathize and empathize with that because I wasn't the swagnificent guy. I was the square, the cornball guy. So I can identify with that portion of it. And a man's quality of mate, just like on the woman's side, it's also on the man's side, is it's related to his status as well. And many men are average guys. We go to work, we punch in the clock, we do what we do, we come home. Where resources, financial and social capital, give us access. Limited resources, limited access. Beauty is like a resource for women. And as men and women live in two separate worlds, we experience this sort of the same way, or in different ways, but we are treated differently as men and women, and different things are expected from us. Even in this brave new world of gender fluidity, we both experience, but in our own way as men and women, we both experience privileges and being taxed in our own way. But I will say this, just like the cursed antique sold by Louis Vendredi in the Friday the 13th, the series, TV series, which I loved back in the 80s. All right, let's see what we can do. I'm kind of doing something here real quick. Bear with me. I think we're good. All right. But yeah, pardon me for just a second. There is that. There is the idea that, just like the cursed antiques in Friday the 13th, the series, there is an upside and a downside to the pretty privilege. There's an upside and a downside to being the select man. I think Ron Wills even said, you know, that select men have their problems as well. He said, you know, the player has player problems. Now, I don't know nothing about that, but I do acknowledge that even a select brother probably has problems, but it's a different type of problem, where the non-select guy has his own problems. So I just thought it was interesting that we talk about living in situations such as a meritocracy, that if you just do the right thing and you just do the hard work, but we know that's not always the case. For men, I mean, it might be easier to improve one's career and even improve your body. I mean, go to the gym, even though losing weight can be hard at times. But you only get the face you get. You only get the height you get. That's something you got to rock with. And ultimately, I see things as life is about playing the hand that you're dealt. These are the cards you have. You need to do some inventory. You need to take a little inventory and just play the hand to the best of your ability. And I'm not trying to get on any lofty platitudes here, though I love me a good lofty platitude. It's just that it's sort of a reminder to me, too, that you only get the hand you're dealt. You know, you can't play anybody else's hand, and you'd probably be in a worse position if you tried to play their hand. So you can only play the hand you're dealt. That's just my 2 cents. Give me your thoughts in the comments if you want. All right, be easy like Sunday morning. Take care.